Hey, what's going on everyone, it's Grim, I hope you're all good. And yes, this is what you think it is. It's the 40-man Molten core. Old news now, as Highmall and all that good stuff have opened up on normal and heroic. So this is old news, but I finally got around to doing it. And this video I'm kind of gonna use, because it's like, I think 20 plus minutes long. It's a long ass video, and it's basically just the bosses. So as you can see, there's none of the trash really in here. It's just the bosses. But if you want to, I will say this before I go off on a tangent, as I so often do, that if you want to watch the whole 2 hours plus of our Molten core run, I had to put it online. I was gonna do a talk over. I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna get the Molten core footage, and I'm gonna do it at double speed here and there. I'm gonna be really good, and you guys can watch it, and I'll talk over the top of it. And when I started to do that, the video was still an hour plus long, and it was painful. So I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna do this video, sort of cover the bits and pieces I wanted to cover, let you guys see the bosses, just put this up there for you. And I will actually put the whole 2 hour Molten core run up. There's no music, it's just the sounds of the game, and trust me, you may go, my god, that sounds boring and painful. Boring, but it doesn't even compare to how bad this Molten core run was. So if you, okay, even if you don't want to watch the whole 2 hours, which I do not blame you in the slightest, watch the first 20 minutes. Watch the first 20 minutes, and you will see. It will give you a gist of how the run started out, and it was not good. It really wasn't. It's obviously LFR, so you expect a little bit of craziness in LFR. It's the way it is. But we were so disorganized. We went in. We had for many of you that haven't been in there or don't know, when you go onto the very first bridge that goes into the first lot of trash, you can actually jump off the bridge onto the cliff face and skip a load of the trash. Half of us did that, half of us continued to pull, and then people kept walking back in. So we never actually, the trash kept aggroing, it never reset. We had 30 minutes. 30 minutes, the first half an hour of the fight, we didn't get past the bridge. There you go. That'll give you an idea of how bad this particular LFR Molten core run was. But we got our shit together at the end, and it was good. It was actually really good at the end. We had a couple of guys there who'd obviously been there before. They were starting to mark targets, and people started to get the gist of it. I think, to be fair, for a lot of people, 40 people, and it was for me. I've never done 40-man raiding. I didn't play WoW in vanilla. 40-man raiding was a little bit daunting. It was a bit, what the fuck is going on? And to be honest, you can tell that. You can understand. You can tell why Blizzard decided that they didn't. 40-man raiding, cut it. Don't need it. We can do, 10-mans, 25, 20 now, 30 as it goes up. But we don't need the 40-man raiding, and I kind of agree. Don't get me wrong, I understand there's nostalgia there, and I don't want people just suddenly going, my god, Grip, you didn't even do it! You didn't even do 40-man raiding! You're a pussy noob bitch, and you dare to say that 40-man raiding was obsolete? God damn you, so I slap you around the face with my mailed gauntlet. And I understand that. I am talking from purely a calculating by numbers route, not the nostalgia route. And I can see why. There's a lot of people, and I was one of them through large swathes of this fight, that did not pull their own weight. I tried, but melee, it's rough. That's just bitching about class mechanics. I'm not going to go into that. But no, it was rough. A lot of people, healers bad, tanks were bad, DPS was bad. Just generally, it was. We had a group where maybe if you did this run, you could get away with, 10, 15 people not pulling their weight and not doing what they should be doing. We had way more now. And as I say, I'm the first to put my hand up and say that it was my first time in here, and I did not pull my weight. And I will say this now. I will say this, that I did not pull my weight on Ragnaros. And if you don't end up watching this video all the way through, I'm actually going to put it up as a clip of me with the rocky music going on, because halfway through, we died so much in this fight. And bear in mind, we actually repaired. We had guys dropping Jeeves, we had all sorts. We died so much that when I got to Ragnaros, I was fighting Ragnaros, and I was, I had my execution start, I had everything going in, and I was, feel my wrath. And then I was like, why can I only use exorcism and stuff like that? This doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, because there's a big red fucking message on the screen telling me you need a weapon to do this. My weapon had actually broke. I think Cuddles ended up basically naked. I think she had a shield left to cover her modesty, and that was it. Her gear was all red, mine was all red. Everybody was like, my weapon's broke. So it shows you how hard the Ragnaros fight is now, when you don't need the fire resistance gear. It's a cakewalk, but that's fine if you got that far, especially the way we did it. If you've done 2 hours of it, please just give me the mount by that point. The worst thing was when you do it, you get an achievement, and then there's like, okay, cool, I loot the boss. There's my helmet, which is really cool. For those of you who don't know, you get a 640 helm for doing it, obviously in your specification. But everybody's like, what the fuck? Where's the mount? Where's the good stuff? And yeah, it turns out the mount actually comes in the mail. So if you are doing this and all of a sudden there's no mount, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Keep calm. Keep calm. The mount, it just comes in the mail. That's right. And which it is epic, by the way. The mount looks really cool. But so it is. And it's worth doing anyway. It's a little bit of nostalgia, and there's no harm in that. We had a lot of people in here that were obviously, you know the types, the LFR elites, the guys that they could be raiding with Paragon and Method, but instead they're going to do LFR with you because they're awesome, and you should be aware of how awesome they are. We had a lot of those guys in here with us, and they were like, oh God, how you would have suffered. Oh God, if you had done when I did this, when back in vanilla and I did this, we kicked ass. We were none of you could have done this. We were fucking amazing, and it's yeah, I did whatever. But so yeah, Molten Core on my side. I will say from personal point of view, I loved it. It was nice to get in here. It was nice to. I've obviously, like a lot of people, gone into Molten Core, and I've done it on a 90 or an 85 or whatever level character. I've gone in, done Molten Core, and it's easy, obviously, because you're like ridiculously number of levels higher than you should be. So you go in, you one-shot anything, you feel great, you get to see it. The interesting thing is to actually see it in context. Is to see it when it's level appropriate. So you go into this and you realise because the first thing, I've taken Cuddles into this before, so she could see it, as I say, on 90 level characters, so she could see Molten Core, because I knew this was coming out. I was like, here you go, I'll walk you through Molten Core so you can see it, get a feel for it. And we walked around it, and she's like, it's huge. Molten Core's massive. I'm like, you gotta remember it's back in the day when there was like 40 people in here, so yeah. It does look like it's massive, but it doesn't when you've got that many people. And voila. To actually see it how it was meant to be done, I know a lot of people say, oh, it's not how it was meant to be done. And I will say this, the recent patch notes have come out, and I actually feel glad that we did this before the nerf. They have made it so that the core hounds won't come back to life, and I think the flame guys don't break apart and things like that. So they've actually nerfed it even more than they had from, obviously, when they scaled it up to 100, which is a real shame, because that's like, I don't know if you can see it at the very beginning of this video, when we actually get up to, when we're doing the core hound packs, we were like, we've done it. Well, because honestly, it had been 45 minutes by the time we got to that trash pack, and people were like, this is going to be horrendous, we're not going to do it. And so some guy finally stood up and went, look, AoE, 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 just keep AoEing. And then once they're dead, keep AoEing until they despawn. And we did it, and it was fine. The guy was like, well, that's like one of the hardest parts. I mean, obviously then Barongeddon, but that's one of the hardest parts, getting past the core hounds. And it was really cool. It was really good to actually see what... Because we fucked up on one of the trash packs, we pulled the next pack, and then all the core hounds behind us came alive. And it was fucking brilliant. It was great to actually see what people talk about when they used to talk about, Molten Core, and they'd say, oh, the core hound pack, oh, they were fucking painful. Seeing that firsthand, a level appropriate, was really fucking cool. And, gives you a little bit of respect, and, gives gives me more knowledge as a noob player. It gives me more knowledge and just a little nod to the guys that have been there, done that back in the day. But overall, even though it was horrendously painful, and as I say, it was like 2 hours plus, and yeah, it could have gone far smoother, I still really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed giving Molten Core a chance, and obviously getting fat loot and the mount and everything, but no, just going back and doing it. I would not suggest that this is something that they continue to do. You know, let's look at when they brought Nax back, level appropriate, and many people that played this in vanilla may turn around and say that this is shit and that they hate it and rah rah rah. And I understand that. Fair play. You may well think that, but I'm purely talking my own personal point of view. It was fun. It was fun. It's gimmicky. It's just a little nod to the good old days. Here's our 10th anniversary. Have a bit of fun. You know, don't make this a thing that you do all the time. Don't keep bringing back the old ones, because it starts to lose its shine when you keep bringing back old stuff. It basically says we can't be asked to make new stuff. But anyway, what else are you going to talk about, Grim? This video's still got ages to go. And yes, I know that. So this is the next part of what I wanted to talk about. And I was going to do a separate video on this, but I thought, you know what, Molten Core's going on for so fucking long, I will actually talk about Warlords of Draenor and my take on it. Because I now have one character, obviously the Paladin at level 100, I have another one approaching 100, and I have several characters now floating around 94 to 96. So I've done a lot of Warlords of Draenor, and I still haven't scratched the surface. I'll be entirely honest, there's still a lot of things I haven't done. I haven't done the new Highmaul content as yet. Still waiting for a couple of guys in the guild to get their eye level up. Still looking for new people, so if you're out there and you want to join, you are more than welcome. We're on Chamber of Aspects. Little plug for the guild there. But, yeah, so I haven't done Highmaul, I haven't done the raiding stuff yet. And I've started to... I'm literally at the level where I'm just starting to get into heroics and plugging away through them, getting the next upgrade to my legendary ring, and yada yada yada. But I have enough experience with the rest, the outside world of Draenor, to say I love it. I really, really love it. And that's not because... It's easy to say I love it because Pandalem was so shit, or because, you know, oh, Cataclysm was so bad, or whatever. In my honest opinion, Cataclysm was so bad because it was so hyped. They so overhyped it that I don't know how anything was going to live up to it. You know, let's be honest, we've broken the world, which was really cool. You know, Thousand Needles, loved, you know, the way it flooded, they broke the wall. It looked, the things they did to the world, amazing. You could fly, fucking brilliant, love it. And then, yeah. No, really, yeah. And I think also the biggest thing was, you look at guys like Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox, Wow Krendor, loads of those guys, and there's others out there. Loads of them covered the beta to death. They pumped out so much beta footage that when it finally landed, nobody was surprised by anything. It was like, I know how to fight this raid boss. I know what this instance is because I've seen it. I know how to quest from, you know, 1 to whatever because I've watched them level character after character. And the same thing happened with Warlords, but they've kept some things back. And let's be honest, the beta was very short for Warlords. Very short. So I don't think everybody really got to get a good look and a good grip of what Draenor had to offer. Because a lot of stuff that I did a decent amount of time in beta, and there's still things that I found now that I was like, holy shit, that's there. What? Okay, didn't know that. That's cool. Now, I won't lie, the beginning experience was rough. Warlords of Draenor was really rough, not for the game, but for the launch, and that's tainted a lot of people. There's guys in my guild that are like, do you know what? I'm kind of done. I'm not. And they've never logged in since the launch. They've been like, fuck it, I'll get round to it at some point. And the thing is, with MMOs, and I'm going to say Call of Duty because I play Call of Duty, or any game to be fair, FIFA, whatever, you keep playing them, and it's great, but when you step away and you start doing other things, sometimes you're like, do you know what, the desire to jump back on isn't really there. And then your subscription lapses, and you're like, do you know what, fuck it. No, I'm good. So, I understand, you know, that that screws over. But the amazing news is 10 million subscribers. Yes, apparently they've gone up, like, what were they at, 7? So they've gone up like 3 million subscribers. Now, that will drop again because it always does. Think about it, it's all new, shiny hype. As I just said, I've already known people that have left. So the number will drop, but as long as it stays above that of Mr. Pandora, that's a good thing. And I think the expansion they've given us is far superior. Far superior to... I liked Wrath. A lot of people hated Wrath. I hate TBC. Loads of people I know love TBC. So it's difficult to say with an expansion, but majority of people I've spoken to really, really like Warlords of Draenor. And let's go through why. Why do people like Warlords of Draenor so damn much? Now, I'm not going to get into class balance because many people will say, my class was nerfed, my class was gimped, but they took abilities away that I needed, they did this, so I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole quagmire. And I'm not Preach. I don't know every class like the back of my hand. I'm not some Zen master. Jesus, I've got a paladin that I can play. By the way, I play tank spec, I play protection paladin, so yeah, my retribution play is piss poor. But like, I've got a warlock ult, which is like my main ult. If I fancy just fucking about on DPS, that's what I'll primarily play. I suck at it! I could just about play my protection. I will hand on it, so I play protection well, but like everything else I suck at. So I'm not going to turn around and say, oh yes, what you want to do, you want to play this? No. But yes, I'm not going to go into classes and how they've taken abilities away or pruned or whatever they want to call it. I'm just going to talk about the expansion as in a world, as in a game we can play and have fun in. And, okay, let's kick it off the bat. Garrisons, yes. I was kind of like, is Garrisons going to be a gimmicky thing? Is this going to be like is this going to be like the farm? Because in all fairness, Mr. Pandora, I know loads of people love the farm. They thought it was brilliant. They really enjoyed it. I never fucking bothered with it. I couldn't see the point. I was like, yeah, it's a farm. What do I need it for? Nothing new. I'm not really interested. I don't want to do cooking. So, do you know what? I don't really want a goat mount. I don't really want a title to farmer. So, I will pass. So, when they all talked about, oh, garrisons, and as I say, I played it in beta, and the problem is, with beta, is that nothing is vested. You put all this time and effort into it, but the rewards you get are tainted by the fact you know you're never going to keep them. So, it's kind of... You can see a lot of these things, and you can play it, and you can go, okay, yeah, I like this feature. I've always liked the garrisons, but I've always been like, well, is this just something I'm going to build because they tell me to build it? It's part of the, like, beginning of the game, but to be fair, once I've got it up and running, I'm not really going to give a toss about it. I'm not going to spend the money on plans, or do this, or do that. But it really works. Now, I obviously stream for a living, and I do YouTube for a living, so I love the garrison, fine, but what I've been told by people that, obviously a lot of people in the guild work, you know, Cuddles works full time, is that the garrisons are a huge help for people that, Blizzard know, okay, it's 10 years on, so the guys that were, you know, in their 20s, bumming about, college, you know, university, whatever, they were playing World of Warcraft, and now they've got jobs, they've got families, they can't be fucking about constantly, you know, they can't play WoW as often as I play WoW. You know, I'm in a very privileged, lucky position, and I know that. But with the garrison, they can set work orders up, they can go to work. If they don't log on for a couple of days, it doesn't matter. If they're like, say to the missus, I'm just going to go upstairs for like half an hour, I just need to set my garrison stuff up. By the end of that week, they can have like an item 640 item. They could have, you know, if they've done their daily Apexis crystal runs, they could have, you know, another 630 bit of gear. And they've done nothing. That's not saying that nastily or saying that to be mean, but they've done nothing in terms of they haven't had to grind out, do heroics, they haven't had to do things. They can do that because they want to, but not because they have to. It means everybody's on a level playing field. You know, everybody has the same ability to go and do heroics at the same time, or, you know, normal 5-mans at the same time, to go into LFRs at the same time. Item level isn't really a big thing. You know, they've tried to push it more that it's your ability that counts. So for instance, let's go with this. You can go in and, you know, as you level up, we all know you can do 5-mans. You get to 100, you can do 5-mans. You can do all the, I think there's 97 for Skyreach, 97 to 100, then you get the other level 100s. You can do them in normal, fine, and you will get 615 gear. Do you know what? The first unlock for LFR is 615. You can go from 5-man normals into LFR. You can never touch heroics. Not something that interests you, don't worry about it. Carry on, enjoy your thing. See the story, see the progression go on, but you don't have to be challenged by it. Whereas, if you want to... By the way, you can see here I still got my weapon. In a short time, you're going to notice that I go Rocky style. I'm like, you know what, fuck this. Ragnaros is going to get punched in the face. I'm going to punch him, and I'm going to punch him hard. He's going to know it. Rocky style. Yeah, my weapon breaks, and it's just like, okay, I will use... lucky I'm a paladin, and not a warrior, because I think I would have been screwed. But anyway... So yeah, I love the fact that they've made it so that people that work can be on a level playing field and enjoy the game to the same degree. I have, as I say, a lot of people in the guild work, and we are able to go and do 5-mans and the heroics. We're looking forward to doing LFRs, and we get a couple more people to do normal raiding, and they're all at the same level. Even though I can sit here and I can play all day every day, those guys are still roughly at the same level because they can still get their 640 gear, they can still get their 630 stuff. And, okay, here and there I'm on slightly better gear, but they can also go and do their 620s. They can go and... By 620s, I mean there's the... I want to call them elite rares. I don't know what the proper name for them is, but there's the big rares that when you get to 100 drop level 620 gear. So they can go around and they can collect all the 620 gear off of these rares, they can drop garrison resources. They can get geared up to a situation where they can be doing 5-man heroics and LFR really quick. And it's more about your ability as a player rather than the time you can invest into the game. Now, obviously, somebody that's got way more time is going to be in a better position. My garrison is in a far better position than everybody else's. I've got like level 3 on almost all my buildings. But, there's always going to be the element of time in these things. But still, we can go and do things fun, and they don't feel left behind because, somebody's playing all day, I was about to say left behind because they're out there earning money, but no. Okay, granted they have a life, but I'm talking about in WoW. Also, to get away from people having a life and me not, the other things I love are things like the exploration of the world. Now, I'm going to do a proper video on Warlords of Draenor, the things I like, things I don't like, and yada yada yada. Because this is me just rambling on. I've had half an hour basically to sit here, watch Molten Core, and just ramble. This isn't scripted, it's me just rambling away, as you can guess. But I love the fact, if you guys haven't got it, get an add-on called Handy Notes, and the Draenor expansion, or whatever you want to call it, for that. Because it will show you all the rares, all the super rares, all of the garrison... Every item that's available to pick up, it will show you. And there is so much to do and so much to get in the game. Absolutely tons of stuff. And it's brilliant. It keeps you occupied. There's tons of things to do. I love it. Also, the world of Draenor is really, really interesting. Very varied. And this is the other thing, okay? We haven't even opened Tanan Jungle yet. Bear that in mind, okay? We have seen all these zones. We haven't even opened Tanan Jungle. We haven't been able to fly yet. Whether they bring that in or not, who knows. But we haven't been able to fly, so we can't properly explore. We're still doing this old-fashioned way of mounts and flight masters. So, but I will say this, okay? And this is a nod to Nobble. I was watching one of his videos the other day, and I completely agreed. And I actually wanted to talk... This is what I wanted to talk more about. But I've already rambled away for like 20... What? How long have I been rambling for? 24 minutes? What the fuck? Sorry, guys. And he said, it's a shame we're winning so easily. And I agree with that. I hope that when they open Tanan Jungle or something, we have a setback. Because this is the Iron Horde, and at the moment, there has been no feeling like we really needed to go through the portal. We whooped their ass, okay? There you go, there's the achievement, and you'll notice I got mail in the top corner. And I think somebody even says, where the fuck's the mount? But, anyway, back on topic. So, we haven't been... Why did we even need to go through the portal? We pimp-slapped them back in Azeroth. They were trying to come through the portal. We bitch-slapped them back. We've gone through the portal. And we smashed the crap out of them. At no point have we been challenged. At no point has something happened where we're like, okay, the moment in the, you know, when you watch those films, there's that heroic moment where the guy turns around and goes, "You go, take them and go without me, and I will stop them." There's been no that moment, you know, that bit where Khadgar, you know, pushes us through the portal to send us back to Azeroth, and then, you know, stays behind to save us. There's been no wow moment that's just made me think, oh my god, you know, no sacrifice. So I would love to see that. The video stopped, so I will stop rambling now. And yeah, there's Molten Core, guys. And there's my kind of odd rambling about Warlords of Draenor. I'm going to do a proper video on that. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Have a good one, guys. Now I need a drink. Catch you later.